What's up, guys? So, I wanted to come on here and give a little background on how Still Here was started, why it was started, and what the purpose really is for Still Here. So, about 3 years ago, I had to go through emergency spinal cord surgery. My right leg stopped working. For most of you, I don't know. For most of you, I have my left leg amputated just from a drop foot. End up getting osteomyelitis, which is an infection in the bone. They gave me the opportunity to get rid of my leg just because it was pretty much dead at that point. Had this option probably at 6 years ago. I was embarrassed to get my leg cut off. At the same time, I had an AFO, which was a brace that I had to wear to even walk normal. So about 3 years ago, I had gotten the opportunity to get my leg amputated just from the osteomyelitis. I did it. And then 2 years ago, I had an emergency spinal cord surgery. So what happened is my spinal cord isn't correctly made. I have spina bifida. There was a cyst actually growing on the side of my spinal cord, so it was cutting off the fluid inside my spinal cord, so it actually made my right leg start going dead, numb. It's actually numb now to a degree. I'm able to do a little bit of flexion, nothing much. I actually walk with a cane, which is fine. So with that surgery came a lot of mental illness, a lot of questioning life, a lot of resentment, anger, just because, I've lost one leg already, and then my right leg started leaving. So I'm like, fuck, this is a lot. It's a lot for anybody to go through, especially somebody that's been so active in their whole life. One thing is that I've realized is a lot of people are born like this and they have to live, so they don't know what it feels like to actually be able to run, ride a bike, things to that degree, to live a normal life. So to start to lose my legs and just to disintegrate pretty much, it was very mentally challenging. So I remember going out for breakfast, coming back home. I had 13 stairs that I have to walk up. Yes, I had to count them all just for to tell a doctor. And I got to the third step, and I was like, my right leg just isn't moving. So at that point, I ended up going to the ER, getting my spinal cord surgeon to come in, MRI me. Come to find out, the cyst had grown so much that it started cutting off the pressure to my spinal cord, so the fluid wouldn't run up and down like it would normally do inside a spinal cord. So I got rushed into emergency surgery. I remember I was laying there after surgery, and I was crying. It was probably about 11 o'clock at night. One of the nurses had came in to give me my medication. Mind you, it was a lot of pain. I mean, a lot of pain, a lot of agony. So, I was going through it. So I remember talking to this nurse, and I asked her, I said, have you ever thought about taking your life or not being here anymore? And she looked at me. She shut the door, and she's like, do you mind if I sit down? And I said, absolutely not, please, go ahead. So she sits down, and she's like, you see everybody that comes in here. She says, you see your wife, come in, sit here. You guys don't say anything for hours at a time, but she still stays, and you see your family come in, and you guys don't really say much, but they're still here for you. And I was like, yeah, but what does that really have to do? She goes, I lost my son, my 5-year-old son, and my husband 4 years ago in a car accident. It hit me, She goes, I would do anything to have that moment with them. It pretty much changed my whole perspective on my situation, having support and having that love and just having people around to help you and give you that motivation. Now, mind you, when you're in a dark place, you don't really see it. you know, and having that perspective on life, it's very hard. So when she gave me that story, she didn't cry, she didn't show really much emotion in a sense. It was just very powerful the way she had stated it. So then from that point on, I changed my whole perspective on life, and that's why I decided to start Still Here, because I was checked out, man. As soon as I got out of the hospital, I was ready to, I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I was going to do it. Because just life was becoming not livable at a certain point. So I sat there the next day, and I had gotten a tattoo. I'll show you the tattoo. See if it zooms in. No. It says Still Here right here. And I'm looking at the tattoo. And that tattoo was meant for something else a long time ago that I had went through. And I was just like, I'm still here. Like, I'm still here. I can still push forward. I can be the guy to be out front, open about, wanting to commit suicide, wanting to take my life, not wanting to be here anymore. And I figured that there's so many people going through something, and everybody goes through something. Everybody, as much as you may see, honestly, the happiest people go through the most shit. You'd be very surprised. Because a lot of us that go through shit smile so somebody else doesn't have to go through it, or doesn't have to feel like they're going through it. So, and it's not an act. It's not an act at all. It's not, it's not putting an act on. It's, when you're smiling, and those people that go through it, it's just because they don't want to give other people pain that they've been through. So fast forward, that same day, the next day, I actually started designing a design. It was a floral design, meaning like I wanted to be in paradise, but it was such an aggressive font, but I was in hell at the same time. And I knew it resonated with a lot of people. And as soon as I started really talking about it and opening up, people just started really opening up about their stories and just like what they've been through, child abuse, spousal abuse, losing a family member, getting injured and being an athlete, and not being able to perform their sport anymore, just having some really crazy thought processes, and like they've just opened up to me. And I'm not a judgmental person. When I was younger it was different, but then when you realize life isn't about black and white, it's a very gray area, you start to really understand humans and souls and just what people really go through, and the decisions they have to make at a certain time to survive. So Still Here is a brand that I came out with because, again, we all go through something. And it's more of a warrior brand in a sense, because it's not just about mental health. Mental health has a huge thing to play with it. But it also has a lot to do with being able to overcome something, being able to push forward to the next day so you can see the silver lining. Still Here became so meaningful for me that it just is something I live at this point. I show people just continue to keep pushing forward regardless of what you're going through, because there will be a silver lining. Everything does work out. If you have a little bit of faith in yourself, I'm telling you right now, it will always work out. It always has. It always will. The brand means so much to so many people that a lot of people actually got it tattooed on them. And it was so powerful to see people like send me pictures of them with the tattoo Still Here. It just meant the world, because again, we all go through something, and just to be able to battle through that. And one thing I say to a lot of people is like, oh my God, like you've been through so much. It isn't a trauma competition. You may be so rich, and you may lose all your money, and to somebody else is like, yeah, that just happens. We're poor. Some people are poor, and it is what it is. But that person that's rich has never been poor before. So they got to go through something. Or, an athlete that's been a champion their whole life and they break their leg and they just don't know if they can ever get back to being a champion, or just somebody's been sexually abused and never knew they can open up again to somebody else, or open up to just humans because they've been so beaten down or molested, or things to that degree. So again, Still Here is a brand of just warriors, and I always said, when you see a Still Here brand, that motherfucker's been through it and they're still here. As cliche as that may sound, it just comes off the tongue, and it's just one of those things where it's like, you don't have to say anything. You don't need to know their trauma, but that they've been through something that they pushed through. And again, it doesn't matter what. Again, it's not a trauma competition. It's not something that, I've been through this, I've done this. No. There's things that I don't know if I could even deal with. I've seen some things that I'm like, wow, I can't believe they've persevered. I don't know if I could do that, and vice versa. A lot of people look at me and go, wow, I don't know how you keep pushing forward. I don't know how you keep doing it. And sometimes I don't know how I do it either. And a lot of people don't know how, because you go into survival mode at a certain point. So the Still Here brand means so much to so many people and myself. And it's something that I think, we need as a community, and we need as humans, and we need just as a brand of almost recognition. It's not a pat on the fucking back, but it's more of like, I see you. I see you. That's what Still Here is. And it's, again, we live in a world where it's always a competition. It's always this. It's always, it's not about pity either. I think one thing I wanted to get across is it's not about pity. It's not about pity at all. It's more about strengthening numbers. I realize if I come out with my story and I tell, and I just lay down my fucking walls, and I'm just honest with myself and honest with people, and I don't care anymore. This soul's been here for fucking years. This is a rental, and people need to realize that. The minuscule things you go through in life, oh, I got a parking ticket. Oh, I got pulled over. Oh, this happened. Oh, I spilled milk. It's little things. The little bit of arguments, or the misunderstanding, if people communicated more often, guarantee there wouldn't be so much bullshit happening. So the brand itself is more of just like warriors being able to get through some shit, seeing other warriors getting through shit, and realizing to keep pushing forward, because there is a silver lining. Everybody here on this fucking planet has a purpose. Everybody has a story. The brand is just to be able to let people recognize and be seen. So again, guys, that's where the Still Here brand came from. The beginning story of it. It started 2 years ago. I had let it drop because I started feeling good. I started doing my own thing. But after, like I said, my recent hospitalization, I realized I need to get back to helping others, not myself. I'm not here for helping myself. I'm not here for my own accomplishments. I'm here to help somebody else on their journey. As a spina bifida case, we don't live long. I should have died as an infant or in my teens. But to be 37, pushing forward and continue to keep moving and showing others just keep persevering through life, that's what I'm here for. And that's what that whole infection was. That's what that whole awakening was. That's what it was. That's what it came down to. So, as you see, I have my shirt on. This is a hardcore Still Here shirt. So I'll have, like I said, I'll have more merchandise out just so people can show their battles and show their wounds in the sense. And every shirt has something different. Every shirt has different meanings. This shirt was actually made for physical abuse. You know, you see the blood, you see, you know, the sharpness, the anger in the sense. I have a bunch of different other designs that I've came out with. And they all have some kind of meaning behind them. Again, it's you see it, you know, that's a fucking warrior. They've been through some shit. So let's keep creating the army, because strength in numbers is everything. Being able to see somebody wearing a shirt, wearing a bracelet, it's just more of being seen. And again, you don't have to tell your story. You just know. So, much love, guys. Still here, baby.